It's news time. Information is power. The current. The news headline. The days of Boko Haram, bandits are numbered. Bandits, alongside Boko Haram, a sect dubbed as the faceless enemy of peace, have been wreaking havoc and causing chaos in Nigeria for some years now. These deadly groups kept on perpetrating evil with impunity. The weird thing about the attacks of Boko Haram is that they believe that they are doing the will of God and they are ready to die, and whenever they die, they will be heavily rewarded. Bandits, on the other hand, pose a serious threat to those living in the northwest Nigeria and deadly group as terrorists. They make audacious statements, dare the Nigerian government, and rendered so many people homeless in the towns. However, these terrorists are actually being faced by a whole lot of security agencies so as to make sure that the act of terrorism stops in this year 2022, where President Muhammadu Buhari had actually reinvigorated the Nigerian military so as to ensure that they can keep up and also end insecurity and terrorism in the country. Military kidnapping, amongst others, he attributed the problems to Pentecostal clerics who said preached contrary to expectation of the church. Earlier thought the Catholic and Anglican churches were the problem, but they are not. It is the Pentecostal church pastors. I listened to a Pentecostal pastor in the social media, and he said, no amount of sin will make one go to hell, that Christ has paid for all sins. The man was making people to commit sin in disguise. Some people do not do evil, but allow others to do it, therefore deceiving many souls. Everyone is talking about grace and nobody is talking about righteousness. If the entire church is doing what it's supposed to do, there will be peace in the world. We do not have 1% of those who can act Christ-wise. Churches have failed the society in several ways, and that is the reason why youth go back to the olden days traditional practice. Also, the current service chief in office, because he sees what Nigerians do not see. Shehu explained that the military commanders serve at the pleasure of the president, noting that there is no part of the law stipulating their tenure of service. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, on Monday, January 11, told applicants seeking to serve in the army that they must be ready to move to Sambisa Forest at the end of their training. According to Premium Times, Buratai noted that the recruits should be ready to serve their country anywhere they are deployed as soldiers, and that was before Buratai actually became an ambassador to the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Benin Republic after he was, removed as the lieutenant, as the Nigerian Army Chief of Staff. And in another news, the coalition of Nigerian Patriots (CNP) had hailed the success of General Tukur Buratai retired before he was retired for the success of the Nigerian Army Operation Sahel Sanity, of which he actually launched at the time of the insecurity in the country. More on terrorism and banditry, because these are actually challenging issues. That was the main reason why we in the National Assembly, both the House and Senate, have passed a resolution urging the President to also designate bandits as terrorists so that it can be able to tackle the challenge headlong. We know that at the moment there are technical challenges with using our equipment because of certain conditions. At least we heard that the President to please help sign this, because right now the activities of bandits are getting even more worse and sophisticated, more than even what is happening in the northeast. A prominent member of the Islamic West African province known as ISWAP, he said the fact again is that the armed forces, the land forces, have done an excellent job, because in the span of 1 month, we have been able to take out the leadership of the Islamic State of West African province ISWAP, that is Abu Musab al-Banawi. 2 days ago, the man who succeeded him, one Malam Bako, one of the prominent leaders of the Shura Council of the Islamic State of West African Province, was also taken out. They also contending with leadership crisis. All these things are also accompanied with inherent issues of trust, conflict, mutual suspicion, and other things. So, the operations being conducted by the armed forces in the northern part of the country put a lot of pressure on the Islamic State of West African province and Boko Haram, and also tangential group known as Islamic State in the Greatest Sahara. On the forthcoming November 6 Anambra governorship election, the NSA said the president enjoined the security agencies to stamp their feet of authority and ensure the process of election. Mongunu said the president was reacting to the heightened security challenges in Anambra orchestrated by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The president had directed that under no circumstances will anything be allowed to stop the election from taking place successfully. The people have a right to vote and select their leader. No group or individual will be allowed to stimulate anarchy and chaos, leading to murderous activities. The president had made it very clear that the armed forces and all law enforcement agencies must make sure that the election takes place even if it means overwhelming the entire environment with the presence of security personnel, he said. Buhari had earlier on October 20 hosted the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who was on a 2-day official visit to Nigeria, where the Turkish leader who expressed satisfaction with the level of bilateral relations between Turkey and Nigeria under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari reviewed that Turkey trade volume would be expanded by $5 billion immediately so as to further boost socio-economic ties between the two countries. Erdogan, who spoke through an interpreter, expressed hope that the relations between the two nations would be further developed on the basis of a win-win situation and in the basis of mutual respect. The Turkish leader also expressed the readiness of his country to partner with the Nigerian government in tackling its security challenges, where Buhari had on October 19th sent a stern warning to bandits, saying that the clock of their ultimate destruction is ticking, as they will no longer have a place to hide. In a statement in Abuja on Monday, Malam Garba Shehu, the president's spokesman, said that Buhari was reacting to the killing of 30 people in Goronyo in Sokoto State on Sunday by bandits. According to the president, the days of the bandits are indeed numbered because the military capabilities of the armed forces are being boosted by the acquisition and deployment of advanced equipment. The bandits are living in fool's paradise of invisibility, but reality will soon dawn on them harder than ever before. The bandits are currently under desperate pressures because of the intense and sustained air and ground operations against them in their hideouts by our security forces. The cowardly attacks on innocent people by the bandits show a rearguard action of criminals under pressure.